Oh, look at that. That's going to be a picture. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for the finale, the round that never was, that we are back for. Round 7 of 7, races 13 and 14 of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega, broadcast on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch. I'm your commentator, Jack Johns, and we are here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, an all-American season, except for Canada, which is this round. Good to see you in chat, Greg. Finally, he says. Oh my God, yes, says Bob Wallace in chat as well on the YouTube chats. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, do get involved. Jump on. Happy National Day to everybody in the UAE. It is Monday. It was a day off for most people. A long weekend. They love a long weekend out here on a national holiday. Kite the Bird says good evening on YouTube as well. Hello and welcome. We are back for the finale. And it's been a little bit of time, what with F1 weekend and all of that going on, and visitors and etc out here in Dubai. But we are here. It's about to happen. It's been time. People have probably forgotten what's happened in the race. That's a good thing. It means we can start fresh. I did not post the stewards room penalties on purpose, because I did them. Obviously I did the penalties and sorted out all the order, but it's because I didn't want people doing any mathematics behind the scenes and spoiling this final result of what has culminated in 14 tight races with contact and all sorts of stuff as usual. A race wouldn't be a Volkswagen Jetta Cup race on the racing line without a car upside down or in the air at least once. Normally gold and white, but some people would say that's unfair of me to say that it's that car that's upside down most of the time. But we're here, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and it is practice right now. You can see the times on the left-hand side. Some familiar initials at the top of the times there with the 132.9. That is Jake Cranston, your two-time Jetta Cup champion. We've run 4 seasons of this now. This is the final season that's been announced. It's not the end, but it is the final round for a while now until eventually a potential season 5 gets announced. There is another Jetta for those of you that can't wait for whenever that may be, or whenever a Racing Line League starts up again, whether it's touring cars, Clios, Jettas, or something new. For those of you that cannot just... Oh, look at that little fight. Who's that? That's a... Hey, Kieran Dempsey. Woo! For those of you that can't wait to have your diesel action, there is a Jetta League popping up in the American time zone, run by our very own Morgan Burkhardt, actually, as we see the time start changing. Burkhardt currently in 4th, but he is a one-time Jetta Cup champion. It's a tough field to become a champion in. I'm sure both of those drivers will agree. Burkhardt had an almighty mess-up of a Season 1. Terrible luck. Season 2 was a bit better, just couldn't beat Mr. Cranston, and then his saving grace came, and Mr. Cranston had to fly out here actually for a historic Grand Prix event, and that opened up the door for Burkhardt to take some points whilst he was away. He just clinched the title, just clinched the title in Season 3, but he done a cracking job, and he's had a bit of a slower start this season. Hobby Raccoon on Twitch says, let's go ZFG. We're looking at a ZFG car right now. That is Martin Wallace. There's a few funny looking liveries out there today. Not sure we can get a closer look. There we go. Who's that handsome man on the front with a Movember tash? I'd like to thank, I know full well that's Jake Cranston that's posted that picture around. He's the only one, I think, that has access to that picture of me. And I think a few of the cars have me on the front of their machines. Looking, I think that picture, obviously it's cropped. That is either a picture of me with Alan Prost or Sophia Flörsch. and I can't remember which one, but either way it was Movember, and that explains the tash. A very describable tash, without saying any of the words. Working in a school was not, it's not the best month actually. I haven't done Movember this month, let's put it that way. I don't know if I'll do it again. I know it's for a good cause, but now I'm just going to talk about it rather than actually do it. Mad John 88 says, what is this series again? I'll tell you, John. This is the Volkswagen Jetta Cup powered by GT Omega in partnership with VCO Esports, with their very own photographer on the Racing Line channel, just in case you didn't know. And of course there is a website, which is theracingline.org, where you can see all the crazy pictures that get taken during these races and series. John Bailiff has been with us from the start. He's just asking that question to give some information to the newbies that are watching today, I'm sure. 28 drivers, 29 drivers on the grid today out of the 36. And Patrick Dupart at the top of the times for Team ORD. Now, Team ORD are in the midst of their highest team battle ever. And they're Eastern European drivers. Eastern European, is that right? Czech and Polish? So you're a geography teacher, Jonathan. Check my grammar on that. But, yeah, the number 23 machine up there in first. Andre Marek, the number 44 in P4. And team leader Dan Thornton, who was very quick here last time out in practice, is in 15th, the number 74 machine. They are, in fact, speaking of the standings, let's have a look then, shall we, at what is at stake for today. And it is win it or bid it, aiming to claim their first team's championship ever? Question mark? In all of the TRL series, but definitely the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. Let's focus on just the Jetta stats for now. Win it or bin it are on the course. I say on course. Look at the points gap. They are smashing it for their first team's championship today. Street Casuals holding on just to P2, and Team ORD are there 33 points behind in P3. Street Casuals drivers, the yellow stripes on the left. That is Henry Morse, who's currently in P2 behind Patrick Dupart, and Andy Geschwind in P12 behind Andre Marek. So right now, it looks like ORD are well in for a shot of P2. Masters of Talk down there in P4. They are teams champions. They are a one-time team champion. Of course, Jake Cranston driving for them. Jerry Agard also driving for them. An unchanged lineup, I think. Donny Henriksen only doing round one this time round, but he was driving for Masters of Talk as well. Send it and bend it. A new team to the Jetta Cup, but familiar to those who watch the Clio race. The sister team of Win It or Bin It are in P5, overtaking Pulsus Esports, who have had their lowest season to date in all series. They are down in P6 with 846 points. Can they move up, back up past or not? Two drivers back on the grid. The Finnish driver, Teemu Toika, currently in P11, and Stephen King out there in P7. Goldwing Motorsport in P7 as well. Parallel Racing Group chasing them down. They have got Morgan Burkhardt on their team, so keep an eye on that. Loic Thon as well, and Caraday. Lurchus Gaming down there in P9, holding off Zero Forks Given, who are currently in P10, but only 10 points difference. Can Zero Forks Given Racing, I know they've got some fans in chat right now, but can Zero Forks Given Racing take that final? That's a lot of money. A lot of money in the old Constructors Championship. I know people love it when I say it's a constructor. Andy Geschwind somehow drops down to 26th there after setting a lap time. That was weird. Is he going to go back up? No, don't know what the timing screen's doing. Not my problem. The Viking Raiders, new team, P11. They have Gibson, Gjesdal and Anderson, all new drivers to the Jetta, to be fair to them. And Meatball Motorsport pretty much have just Jan Weiswanger holding the fort. But Sebastian Holmichael did race in this final round as well. But most of those points, I think, coming from Jan, who's done all the races. Let's have a look at your drivers' standings. You have Donny Henriksen at the bottom after doing the one round. He had a nightmare first round, only 7 points on the board. Tim Rutten done a couple rounds as well for Meatball Motorsport, new driver this season. The Dutch driver Sebastian Holmichael, 55 points. So that is 90 of their 200 points. Duncan Murray down there in 33rd. He is the number 33 car. Matt Sanderson ahead of him, despite doing, I think, less rounds. Joe Gibson in 31st. Viking Raiders down there Jan Weisfanger then 134 points in 30th. Josh German in 29th. Loic Thon 28th. Ruslan Kamadan in 27th. Karaday 26th. Dan Bolton in 25th. Amundare 24th. Otley, Toyko, Corpus, Gesdon and Lequay. Gregory Otley for Zero Volkswagen Racing. Let's talk about him with 199 points. He's in chat. What absolute... He is having a Morgan Burkhardt season 1 season. He has shown pace of top 10 every round. And somehow, it's just not happening. Can he do it today? We'll wait and see. Above Equaliquay, then we have Fox, Wallace, Downing, Manitveld, Schwind, Burkhardt in P13, Ridley and Agard. And then we've got Van Olst, Morse, Burns, Dempsey, Depart, Bailiff, Farr, Mayoret, King and Cranston. Look at the lead that Cranston has. He is well on course for a 3rd Jetta Cup title to his name. He's currently on his way to Dubai. Stephen Burns, I think, is already here. Both for different reasons. Let's get started, shall we? There's Greg Otley's machine. Cold tyres are cold, and he drives into the wall. Not sure what to expect here, but let's skip forward to qualifying. As we see the lovely backdrop of Canadian Tire. And there we see all the cars come out. There's a couple of other cars out there with the moustache face on. You can see the Lurchus Gaming car here. Let's put it on the front and the sides. He's Samundere donning the John's moustache machine. I wonder if you can see it on the side. Oh, there it is. You can see it on the side. Now you can get a good old view on the Lurchus Gaming car. There's the moustache in all its glory. Slightly deformed face. I promise you that's the angle. And there you can see all the other cars behind as well. Pulse's car getting all sorts of out of shape. I think that's Team Rutoiga behind. Who should we go on board with for qualifying? Let's go with long-term driver Jesus Amundere, shall we? On his outlap currently. He's following Loic Thon, the 85 machine. He's going to lift off on this back straight, I think. Try and sort out his qualifying order. And then we'll go on board with him for a lap of Canadian Tire. Let's through the Pulsar's car of Team Rutoiga. There goes Greg Otley as well. There goes Jerry Agard. There we go, very slidey through these corners. Right, let's talk you through a lap then of Canadian Tire. Let's see how it works from the Lurchus Gaming point of view. Jerry Agard in front. Little message there that I can't quite. Thanks, Jack and Stevie. Oh, that's nice from the Masters of Talk team. Anyway, turn 1 is coming up. 150 kilometers an hour. Downhill. You can probably cut that curve on the inside, get close to the wall. I don't know if it bounces you out wide, but he's 6th gear all the way down there, trying to carry as much speed as he can. Over to the right-hand side, and then you've got a blind brow of a hill as you turn into the downhill section of turn 2. It's an amazing circuit, this. It's short, it's fast, it's got all sorts of gradients and hills and etc, undulation. And look at this corner. This is, you want to take a wide entry into here. He took a bit of a shallow line, did Jesus, but the wider the entry you get, the more speed you can carry on the exit. And then you got this nice little flat out, maybe a slight lift. No, he did it flat downhill, and you want to keep your car on the left, open up this tight right hand, and people get caught out here as if you hit that curve on the inside, you bounce out wide, or if you brake slightly too late, you go off into the gravel, and then it tightens on exit, always catches you out. You get a lot of steering lock on, and then you got the super slipstream curvy up and down straight, which can be really strong in these cars as he goes up into 6th gear. What speed are we going to reach as we enter the final fast S's with Jesus Amundere then? Over to the right hand side, and then everyone slowly drifts over to the left. Watch the speed they carry into this corner. 190 kilometers an hour as we get to the turning point. Chucks it in, downshifts, holds it tight to the right hand side all the way around, keeps it tight to the right as he then changes direction into the left, gets straight back over to the left hand side, downshifts again, chucks it into the final right, and then the line I think is relatively short. You can't really get a run there to pass people, which is a shame. And that was a lap of Canadian Tire by Jesus Amundere. What is the times looking like? What are the times looking like? It's Bailiff on pole position right now, with Burkhardt in second and King in third. 3 minutes, 4 minutes in, so we're halfway through qualifying. We've got a Win It or Bin It car on pole with Morgan Burkhardt currently in P2 for the PRG machines, but John Bailiff, this man, the number 22 machine, on pole position with lovely lime green door handles, front bumper and mirrors. Jake Cranston leading the way in front of Mr. King. Behind King, I think, is that Burns? Yeah, it is Stephen Burns, the Scottish driver. Remember, there's a lot of camera angles around this circuit. We don't often get around the others. Just don't remember where any of them are. Not sure what corner that is. Ah, there he is. That's Stephen King there. So they're coming round into turn 9 and 10. That's the turn 9 and 10 section. Into the final corner. Go. Marcus Gesdal in chat, on YouTube chat, says this race marks the end for my play seat. Petter Solberg edition from the middle of the 2000s. RIP Brave Soldier, musty aluminium rig, take your place with pride. Early 2000s, just think, that is 20 years ago. Or the middle of the 2000s, still approaching 20 years ago. How crazy is that to say out loud? Mid 2000s. 20 years ago. Damn. We are all moving on up in age. Gudge Dudge 93. Mad John 88. Assuming you're putting your birth years there in your names. Actually, is John 88? No. You've seen the flags on the back of our cars. No. I have not seen the flags in the back of your cars. Let's have a look. Is it the Banks message that is the same on the Masters of Talk car? Let's have a look. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do the unrealistic camera. Oh. I identify as a bin. Thanks, Jack and Stevie. Is it the bin flag? He's gone. John's in the wall. I identify as a bin. Dempsey Dump Trailers. Thanks, Jack and Stevie. Thank you. Thank you all for driving. Thank you for the races. Oh, look at that. Cranston and Morse with exactly the same time, and Morgan Borcard. Since I've done that, but we move. Morgan Burkhardt is currently on pole position, exactly 132 thousandths ahead of both Cranston and Morse. Did I miss the flag? I just went on the back of the car. Flags on the back side. I like the 3D effect on the side, on the side. I don't know if I can get that angle, but I can try whilst it's qualifying. Wow. There we go then. I don't know where that one is. That's, I did not notice this flag. It's a peace sign though. It's the side rear panel. The 8 minutes is up, qualifying's up, and the Racing Line peace outro on the side of the Win It or Bin It cars. Andy Fox's will look the same, but it is grid up time, and your qualifying is as follows then. Morgan Burkhardt takes another pole position for the season. Jake Cranston up there in P2. It is a double champion front row with Burkhardt and Cranston there. Bailiff and King, the regular runners up, of the seasons are up there in 3rd and 4th. Andre Marek continues his consistency in P5 along with Dupart in P7. Dempsey and Vinals P6 and 8. Jesus Mundere and Agard round off your top 10. Otley up in P11 with Stephen Burns in P12. Henry Morse, Timu Toika, Giesdo Lequay, Corpus Geschwind, Manenveld, Thon round off your top 20. Morse and Geschwind will not need that. 7 temps off of pole, Henry Morse. That's a shocker. Gibson in 21st, Wallace and Camadullen in 22nd, 23rd, Dan Thornton in 24th, Weiswanger, Holmichael, Fox, Carraday and Murray rounding off the field as well, serving a quali ban from accruing a number of penalties. Best starting flag camera for this. Time for the last 8-lap race, or if you're Ruslan, the last 7-lap race. Oh, I heard about this. He mentioned this. I didn't know about it until he said. Even though I watched it back, I didn't notice. But no spoilers here. I can hear the engines, and the race is about to start. 8 laps then. It's 7 laps in the Orthodox calendar, says Andre on YouTube chat. And away they go. They are off for the round 13, race 13 of 14, round 7 round Canadian Tire, and round the first corner they all come sweeping down, 2 by 2, 1 by 1, single by single, and Morgan Burkhardt leads the way. Oh, look at the speed they carry down that hill as Morgan Burkhardt has got Jake Cranston all over his rear already, and he's looking around the outside of turn 2, but that's not going to work. But can Stephen or John make any moves? No, they can't. It's all filtering into single files. Kieran Dempsey starts losing a position there. Andre Marek and Patrick Dupart side by side. Sam Van Olst trying to pick up positions. Burns and Toika side by side with people, and Duncan Murray rounding off the rear of the field, trying to come through as well. But Dempsey and Marek still fighting it out down towards the hairpin. Marek all over the curb. Dempsey around the outside. Should get a better exit after Marek mounts that curb on the inside. And look at Dempsey, for win it or bin it, then holds on to P5 and carries on his charge to chase down Stephen King. And Sam Van Olst is going to have an almighty run, I think, on the exit as well, as he did not mount that curb. And now it looks like Andre's got the slipstream. Sam Van Olst does not, and Andre keeps that position up into P6. Patrick Dupart slots in behind as well as they all head towards the sweeping corners. Sam Van Olst is going to go down the inside. Andre Marek under pressure from the Goldwing driver. Sam Van Olst holds it to the inside, but he's going to have the outside of the next corner. Look at Agard sliding round that corner. But now Van Olst is going to try and get the inside of the final turn. Is he going to send it down there? Marek gives him room. Oh, it looks close. The radios have been left on. I think we're just going to leave them on. It's the final race. I'm sure no one says anything that bad. If they do, they do. But look at Sam Van Olst down the inside of turn 1. Breaks, gives room to Marek. And Patrick Dupart's going to try and come through as well. Burkhardt still leads the way. Cranston in second. Bailiff third. Dempsey dropping back. But Marek has to lift off and slot in behind. Sam Van Olst up into P6. Dupart can't get through, and Jesus and Mundere's having a cracking race as well. He's overtaking Patrick Dupart round the outside of the next corner. Can Jesus and Mundere in the Lurchus Gaming car sweep round the outside of 3 down towards the inside of 2? It's going to be tight down here if he gets towards the hairpin, but look at Mundere, he's under pressure from Jerry Agard now, and Patrick Dupart's going to slot back in front. Can Agard send it down the inside of the hairpin? Is he going to have to brake later than the Lurchus Gaming car? Greg Otley slots in behind it. All goes single file, and it's fairly safe from all the drivers. But that's Sam Van Olst off the circuit. He's lost both positions after an amazing move. The Goldwing driver pulls down the order. He outbroke himself. He definitely wasn't hit. We can have a quick replay of that just to show you. And this is Sam Van Olst then going down towards that hairpin. No contact from behind, just outbreaks himself, and the ORD boys say thank you very much. Jesus and Mundere might even get this position as well. Can any of the others? Look at all the snaking Jettas behind, single file. They're all in a slipstream chain, but now Jesus has been pushed out of the slipstream chain. Nope, Van Olst is out of the slipstream chain. Henry Morse is trying to climb up the order. He's in P13 right now. He's got Timu Toika behind him. The Street Casuals car, remember, they are fighting ORD right now for the Constructors' Championship. There are drop rounds this season, so out of the 7 rounds, one of the rounds won't count, and Henry Morse slides round that final corner. There was a bit of a touch between the cars. He loses 3, 4, 5 positions, and David Corpus comes around the outside, down the inside of the final turn, and Corpus for Lurchus Gaming shoots through down the inside of Henry Morse, and he gains that position, but they're still side by side. Henry is going to try and go around the outside of turn 1. He's got Marcus Giestel in front for Viking Raiders. P15. Oh, Ikalakwe! Big crash! Henry Morse is off. Ikalakwe. Oh, 2 Lurchers Gaming cars involved. Henry Morse as well. That is not what he wants for his team fight. Like I said, there is 1 drop round, but I think Henry Morse did not turn up for 1 round, so that would have been his drop round. Loic Thon up there fighting Ruslan Kamadulin. Andy Schwind is up here as well in P16. Eric Manenveld P15 right now, but Marcus Gjesdal will be thinking he was lucky to not be involved in any of that. Duncan Murray's still back here. He'll be saying thank you very much. He's down the inside of Alejandro Caraday for the PRG car. Burns and Agard, regular fighters. They're side by side into the hairpin. Agard's around the outside. Can he get the better run? Marcus Gjesdal looks like he had a bit of a slow run out of that corner. And Manenveld says, yep, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to pass you straight away. Can Loic Thon? Has Loic Thon got the run on Gjesdal as well? He's going to have slipstream. I don't think he's going to catch him on this straight, even though it is pretty long. Ruslan Kamadulin has an overspeed here on the 85 machine. I think he's going to go down the inside of the final turn. As we see Eric Manenveld blink in and out. Can Kamadulin send it down the inside? It's UAE National Day for the UAE driver, the Russian UAE driver, but in he goes down the inside of the corner. Can he get it done before the next corner? Oh, it's always tight on the left-hander, but then he gets it on the inside of the final turn. Thank you. No, I was bricks. Otley there, side by side with Yuzo Samundere. There he is. Gets that move done. Up into P9 for Greg Otley. I told you he has pace for top 10. Can he hold it there, though? There's normally something that goes wrong. He's racing Jesus right now. Jerry Agard's going to try and get involved in this fight as well. Timu Toika behind. Stephen Burns defending like a lion. Scottish Iron Brew lion. That was the only reference I could think of on the fly just then. I heard a little bit of a slide up the road. Vinol's still behind the 2 ORD boys. I think they're holding formation right now with Depart leading the way. Toika is passing Burns around the outside of the flat-out downhill left-hander, but Jerry Agard, oh, he has a look down the inside of Jerry. Breaks, doesn't make contact with Jerry, does make a little bit of contact with Stephen Burns, who tries to look around the outside of the hairpin. Optimistic from the Send It and Bend It driver, can't get it done out there, but Jerry Agard, absolute expert positioning on his car, and now he's all over the back of that Lurchers Gaming car. This is what it looks like on top of Jerry Agard's car. This is what it looks like inside Jerry Agard's car. He pulls out to the left-hand side. Can he get it done? He's going to have to go around the outside of this next corner. That's going to be risky. Not sure there's going to be anything doing there. Nothing doing. And Burkhardt and Cranston are swapping over as well. The top 3 are separated by a bumper, by a ball hair, as Duncan Murray would say. But Morgan Burkhardt still holds on to the lead. And John Bailiff is trying to come down the inside and take P2 down the inside towards turn 1. Can Bailiff get it? Cranston's on the outside. John Bailiff for win it and bin it. Win it or bin it. They make a little bit of contact door to door. There's no problem there, and they're still side by side. But now Cranston's going to have the inside for the next corner. And King is trying to get the opportunity as well down the inside of Bailiff. Dempsey behind is looking to pick up any pieces. Bailiff keeps his nose there. There looked like there was nearly a rear touch, and it could have ended it all for one of those 2 drivers. It probably would have been King in that scenario, but King goes up into P3. Burkhardt holds on to P1. And Cranston sits there in P2 right now. Where's the drone cameras around here? We haven't seen any yet, but they are here somewhere. There it is. Morgan Burkhardt then down the hill. Cranston behind. King behind him, and the 2 Win It and Bin It cars there in P4 and 5. Look at the closing speed of Bailiff mid-corner. Actually gives King a little bit of a push there as they exit that. I think it's called, is it called Moss Chicane, that one, as they disappear off behind the trees. It wouldn't be a stream without any trees. Look at the gap behind the ORD cars who are closing in on this top 5 fight. Vinolst is nearly 3 seconds back from them, and Otley's actually closing him down as there's a bit of chaos behind. I think that might just be Manenveld blinking in and out. But your top fight, Cranston, is looking to go around the outside of the final corners, and it's going to give him the inside of the next turn. Look at the speed, look at the change of direction. Cranston on the inside, Burkhardt trying to hold it around the outside. The number 1 car, the reigning champion, inside on the final turn. It's lap 5 of 8, and they cross the line side by side, but Burkhardt is still your leader right now. Cranston and Burkhardt, but Cranston has the run down towards turn 1. Burkhardt has the high ground, as it were, and King is trying to pick up any pieces, as is Bailiff and Dempsey, and Depart and Mayarek are just licking their lips saying, yeah, that's it, rein us in. But Cranston is about to take the lead, or can Burkhardt hold it around the outside of 2? King's trying to pick a driver to push. They're all on the right-hand side, and Cranston does take the lead. Burkhardt slots into P2. King is trying to go around the outside of Morgan and take P2, but can he get the run down towards the hill? That is the question. I'm not sure he can, but maybe he can. Who knows? That is not the camera we wanted, but it's the camera we're getting right now. But there we go. We're back into it. And Stephen King is on the outside of the hairpin. It's a dangerous place to try and move. Can he get it done? He needs to be brave on the brakes, brave on the throttle. Burkhardt keeps his car there, positions his car perfectly, and slots back into P2. The ORD boys very much there now. Sam Van Olst still 3 seconds back. The second cork in the bottle. But look at the train behind Sam Van Olst. Otley, Amundere, Agard, Toyka, Burns, Manenveld, Gestel, Cavadelling, Schwind. There's a reverse pole position in that train somewhere. P16 will be starting this race in first place. At the moment, that is Ruslan Cavadelling, the UAE driver, who's looking to pull a pass on Marcus Gestel. And Morgan Burkhardt is going around the outside of Cranston. He's going to do a roll reversal. He's going to pull off exactly the same move that Cranston did on him. He is. He's going to retake the lead. Your lead fight. And I think Gestel and Cavadelling are still fighting. Ruslan has dropped down. He's dropped down behind both of them. But Morgan is trying to take the lead here. I think he's going to get it done before they enter turn one. He gets it turned in and he hits the apex as well. Straight in front of Mr. Cranston. Says, thank you very much. I'll be taking that. Good luck with the rest of it. Let's have some trees. And they appear from behind the trees as they go down the hill through turn 2. And it's all looking very close now with your top 7 drivers there all in one corner. And then they come out from behind turn 3. That is your top 7 after 7 laps of racing then. Burkhardt, Cranston, King, Bailiff, Dempsey, Depart and Majorek. Morgan Burkhardt will be entering the chicane first. And no moves, nothing doing there from anyone. There was a little bit, I was going to say there was a little bit of contact somewhere there. We're going to have to rewind because the replay's not working. So let's find out exactly what happened to Andy Geschwind just then. That looked like he did it by himself. Shall we have a closer look? Andy Geschwind down the hill. He's behind Ruslan. Gets on the curve and the grass. He does. He spins it drops it by himself. Hits the wall. Straight into the barrier. That is not what you need for a team's championship. And off he goes into the pit lane, into the Shadow Realm. That's 7 of 8 then. We've got Lequay and Corpus are also out of this race for Lurch's Gaming. That's a shame. They were on for some big points. Henry Morse down in 26th. It's an absolute street casuals nightmare. Lequay and Corpus have made it a Lurch's Gaming nightmare. ZFG, Zero Forks Given Racing, will be absolutely loving this. Because at the moment they got Greg Otley in P9. They got Martin Wallace in P19 and Ruslan Cavadelling in P16. And we got your lead 2 still fighting side by side through these final corners. Cranston's going to do it again. This is the 3rd time in a row that these two have gone through those fast sweeping right, left, rights side by side. King can't do anything. Bailiff can't do anything. There's nowhere to go, and it's 2 by 2 for your lead 4 on the final lap of this race now. Cranston is about to retake the lead. Bob Wallace says Morgan Burkhardt again. I give up trying, to be honest. But here we go then. Cranston's about to take the lead down the hill. He does. King is trying to go around the outside. He's done this before. He couldn't quite get it done last time. He's been in this position before. It's literally a mirror image of what we saw a couple laps ago, but it looks like King backs out a little bit earlier. Nothing doing for your top 7 right now. Sam Van Olst still holding on to P8. Greg Otley still holding on to P9. He'll be happy with that. Is anyone going to send it down the final hairpin opportunity? No. A few people squirreling on the brakes. It's all going to come down to the final slipstream train then. Let's go on top of Patrick Depart's car. He's the final one in your top 7. Going down towards your final set of corners then. Which will be turn 8, 9 and 10, I think it is. Is anyone going to pull out of this snake as they head towards the final section and get any moves done? I think I see Jerry Agard showing up. Oh no, it's someone else. It's Andy Geschwind showing up in the pits. Look at this. This is Patrick Depart trying to retake his teammate's position. Can't get it done. And Cranston and Burkhardt side by side then into the final turn. Here they go. They go around turn 9, heading towards turn 10. Cranston on the inside, Burkhardt on the outside. They're going down towards the main straight. Who's going to take it? Is it Jake Cranston or Morgan Burkhardt? Burkhardt's got the run, 0.04 of a second. And Jake Cranston, it was nearly 3 wide across the line. But Jake Cranston takes the win of race 13 out of 14 here at Canadian Tire. Morgan Burkhardt less than a 10th. Stephen King there, also a 10th behind Bailiff and Dempsey. Look at the gap between those two. 5,000ths of a second. Mike Wallace says great race on the radio.
So best keep it clean, she's out the last ever one.
I think we need to have another look at that. Can we have a look at that? Is the replay going to work? Here they are. We need an overhead view, really. Chopper cam, blimp cam. Chopper cam's better. Follows the cars. So the race is over. Let's have a look at how tight that finish was when they crossed the line in slow motion then. So there was a bit of contact there. Burkhardt trying to squeeze Cranston towards the inside, or Cranston just opening up his steering. But Burkhardt did have the run. We watched the timing come down and down and down as they entered towards. And look at the run that King gets as a result of not being involved in that. But that, I think, is the finish line. Is that the finish line? Or is it a little bit later? I think it might be that one, actually. There's the finish line. So that is what your finish looks like then. Cranston, Burkhardt and King. I thought Bailiff and Dempsey were a little bit closer looking at the times, but I guess not. It's just the speed that they had. But nearly 3 wide across the finish. Insaneness. Greg Otley did bring it home in P9. There he is.
Great race, Andy.
So best keep it clean, she's out the last ever one.
I thought you were going to try and hold it around the outside on that lap. I was like, bold move,
Sextet. Mike Wallace and Andy Fox having a debrief.
Joe's out, cheers.
Yeah, well done, man.
Let's have a look at your results then. I'll tell you what we didn't notice. Is it worth having a replay and having a look at exactly when is the... Something happened. Oh no! I just restarted both of them. Let's fast forward back to then. I want to see what happened to Ruslan Kamadali. He is currently in P16. And he just lets, so he was on reverse pole. He lets a couple of people through, I think. Starts racing down Thornton here. Does keep that position. He's already thrown away pole position. So a lot of people in chat saying he thought the race finished on lap 7. It's very rare you see that mistake made by anyone. It does happen. We have seen it before. I don't think we've seen it. We've seen it in the leagues before. Someone might have to remind me. We've definitely seen it. Me and John had a... whoa! Ruslan had another moment there. He nearly outbroke himself. Dan Thornton. Oh, is Dan Thornton going to get it? He could have got the next position. I think he might do, you know. Dan Thornton's having a nice little last lap fight here. After Ruslan's mistake, is he going to get this position? I think he might, you know. Dan Thornton's got the run down towards the final corners. This is just a replay. But here it comes, look. Dan Thornton is on the inside of Ruslan, capitalising on that mistake. And then they're going to go side by side into the final corners. 74 versus 77. Thornton around the outside. Oh, Ruslan on the curb. Slides his car out wide. Can Thornton get a switch back? I don't think he's going to do it. That's a shame. That is a shame. Oh, it was tight. It was very tight. Good little fight there at the end for those two, actually. Little last lap.
Great.
Last lap session. We had to yell at him in chat to tell him the race wasn't over, said the ZFG boys. Let's have a look at the results of that race then. This is what it was. Jake Cranston was your winner. Morgan Burkhardt and Stephen King top 3. Bailiff Dempsey 4th and 5th. Mayorek and Depart 6th and 7th, making it 2x2 for Win It or Bin It. And ORD Sam Van Olst, top 8. Greg Otley, P9. Mundere, a cracking race for him in P10. Timu Toika, P11. Jerry Agard, P12. Manetveld and Burns make it a send it or bend it pair in 13th and 14th. Marcus Kjezdal up in P15. Great race for Marcus. Loic Thon then, P16 as well, having a solid run. Ruslan Kamadalan after that mistake fights it out with Dan Thornton right at the end for P17 and 18. Still made up 6 places, so not too upset at missing out. I wouldn't be upset with that. P18. 29 cars out there. Solid race result there for Mr. Thornton. And worth the points. Martin Wallace P19, Fox P20. Gibson in 21st, Weiswanger 22nd, Murray, Caraday, Holmichael, Morse, Geschwind, Corpus. A day to forget for the Street Casuals pair. Andy Fox says only 6 places amateur. How many did Andy get? He's P20. And he would have started near the back. Did you gain 6 places as well? I can't remember where Andy started. He did a quick sip of drink there. That was 7 places. Andy Fox, the pensioner, made 7 places up in that race. Well, if race 2's like that, I think I'm going to lose my voice for the final week of work. Got the... Well, I say I need to look after it. I don't talk for 24 hours straight, but got the 24-hour kart endurance championship here next week. Yours truly will be commentating once again. Shame it's not the historic, which is also on the same weekend. Andy Fox using the old man emoji. Let's hide that results. Actually, no, quickly, just because I remembered it doesn't work. So, I agree, Dan, the Jettas are better than karts, and an 8-lap race is also better than 24 hours. Sprint races are much better than endurance races to commentate on, in my opinion, because you just can't talk forever. Your reverse grid then is going to look like this, because remember the graphic doesn't work on replay. So Loic Thon and Marcus Kjezdal will be starting on your front row, probably for the first time, actually. Yeah, I would assume so. They're up there. I don't know. Kjezdal, I can't remember. He might have been up there before. I don't think I've seen Loic Thon start on the front row from memory. Stephen Burns and Manetveld make it a send it and bend it row 2. Agard and Toika will be starting on row 3. Amundere and Otley row 4. Van Alsten depart row 5. Marek and Dempsey row 6. Bailiff and King row 7. And 8th row will be Burkhard and Cranston. Music off. Grid time. Marcus Kjezdal, front row with Loic Thon. All to play for in this race. First time, says Marcus Kjezdal. First time on the front row. The lights are on, which means the sun is setting on Season 4 of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GTO Migo in partnership with BCO Esports here on the Racing Line channel. Here we go then. It's the finale. Race 14 of 14. Round 7 of 7. Canadian Tire. Kjezdal and Thon on the front row for the first time. Send it and bend it on row 2. The engines are revving. That means the lights are on. Away they go. There's not that much smoke, which means everyone pretty much got a decent start. Loic Thon absolutely smashed the start. Pulls away in the lead. And look at Stephen Burns up into P2. Maneveld's going to come through into P3 as well. Kjezdal a little bit slow off the line. He's got Toika and Agard behind. Oh, there's contact already. Burns spins round. Toika. That's the Masters of Toika. That's Agard. That's Van Olst up in the air. That's Mayerek and King in the wall. And Burns still rolling. The Lurchers Gaming cars come through. Oh dear, Agard's race is over. Bailiff is on the radio. Need better food sponsors next time. Look at this. King, that is going to cost King massively. It's going to cost Morse massively. It's been an absolute nightmare of a final. I'm not even sure where to start with that accident, but Loic Thon will be laughing because he's leading. Manenveld in P2, Gestel still in P3, and Stephen Burns out of this race. Let's have another look. I'm not sure what's best angle here. So have a quick rundown. It's going to have to be chopper cam again. So it started with Stephen Burns, to be honest. Let's have a look. So they go down. It looks like Stephen's way ahead. Comes out to the left. Goes back to the right. Gestel goes to the inside. Burns goes back to the left. Possibly a bit of netcode involved. And then this is where the chaos ensues. Burns' car bounces out the wall. Teemu Toika's car gets hit into A-guard. Who's next? Oh, Vanol straight into the side. That is Andre Majorek involved as well. Depart, I think, makes it through. Bailiff on the brakes. All of the cars behind actually slow down for the incident. And lo and behold, they manage to avoid it. Burkhardt narrowly avoids Majorek. King just gets tagged by Majorek's car, gets put into the wall there on the left-hand side. Weisfanger on the brakes avoids the accident. Gibson avoids the accident. Wallace just tags Vanol's car, which bounces back onto the circuit. Gibson collects Vanol's car as well. There's Toiko on the right in the wall. I think Seb Holmichael might avoid this as well. He does. So those that broke survived, I would say, other than King, who was unfortunate, I think, to be collected by Marek's car, who was unfortunate to be connected by another car, and so on and so forth. Anyway, back to it. That one of 16, that's the big one. And now you're going to see a lot of wounded cars just dropping back, but at least the meatballed cars get to pit before lap 5 as we see all the headlights come on. I wonder how dark it's going to get. I did not set this session up. This was a King session. What a wild ride that was, says Wallace. So 16 laps then of Canadian Tire, your final race of Volkswagen Jetta Cup Season 4. Oh, look at Corpus coming through, says see you later at Pulsars Esports. I am coming through. Andy Geschwind is going to come through as well. That Pulsars car is wounded. Eric Manenveld, though, will be chasing down the lead of this race. He knows that he'll have the pace on Loic Thon, but Loic is holding on. He's going to lead a whole lap. May have been the quickest start to crash for me. I'm up 6 places in 1 lap. This one, Dan, says Andy Fox. Can Loic Thon then hold on and lead his first lap in the Volkswagen Jetta Cup? For the final announced time, he is going to look at the ORD car depart all over the grass, and Loic Thon then leads 1 whole lap of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, starting from pole position, but Manenveld down the inside of turn 1 is now going to take the lead. Look at Marcus Gestel still up there in P3. He's going to come under attack from Jesus Amundere at some point, I would assume, unless he can hold on to it. Look at the speed that Jesus carried down the hill there. He's got a run already. Has he? No, Jack, that's not it. It says on the back of Marcus Gestel's car as he looks down the inside of Loic Thon. They both, I don't think they touch. Side by side, close fighting from the PRG car and the Viking Raiders car. They're now going to be side by side as they head down towards the next left-hander. This is a great view on top of Jesus' car. Loic on the inside, loses the rear a little bit as he gets turned in, and look at that, he gives him room. Marcus Gestel down the inside of the hairpin, and as does Jesus Amundere, who also gets up into P3. Loic Thon going down the order. Greg Otley up into P4, gains a position, and he's on for some solid points for ZFG as well. Patrick Dupart gets a run. He avoids all of the carnage through that hairpin. All of the little fights, and away he goes. Sebastian Holmichael says thank you. He has stopped, and that is his race over by the sounds of it. And away he goes. That's a shame because there's a lot of people who are behind him after that first lap crash, so he might have been able to score something. But Meatball Motorsport, to be fair, after having 1 driver for the majority of the season, there's probably not much to fight for at this stage. But you never know what can happen in these races. There's always chance. You always got to finish, no matter what happens. But Marcus Gestel up into P2 then, chasing down Eric Manenveld here. It looks like he has the pace on him. He's not pulling away. Jesus Amundere up in P3. Greg Otley in P4. Depart Thon, Burkhardt, Bailiff, Cranston, Dempsey back there. That's Ruslan up in P11. Martin Wallace is there as well. Cranston down the inside of Dempsey then on lap 3 of 16, and we've seen a few people pit already. Any changes at the top will probably be Manenveld blinking in and out, so ignore them swapping all the time. The gap's currently 0.4 of a second, so I don't think they're fighting for position just yet. see the train of cars. Look at these two. Loic Thon, Morgan Burkhardt, PRG Machines. Thon gives him the inside. Oh, gets a little bit of a touch there. Does Thon from Burkhardt. So he's biffed his teammate off. And then Cranston says, I'm going to come through as well. If you're going to do that to your teammate, he's going to get the run. Bailiff actually went through. And the Win It or Bin It machine was right there. Took advantage of that. Cranston's going to get the run. And I think Dempsey might have the run. It's really slowed Loic Thon's pace down the main part of the circuit. The fastest part of the circuit. I don't think Dempsey's close enough to take advantage unless he can just send it on the brakes. There's a for sale sign on the back of that Masters of Torque kart. I wonder if that means Cranston might be changing teams or cars for any future TRL leagues, or is he going to stay loyal to the Masters of Torque team? We don't know how long the gap's going to be fair. Henry Moore sets the fastest lap of the race. He's currently in P15. He's got Andy Fox in front of him. Duncan Murray behind him. We haven't seen much of Duncan actually on circuit today, but here he is. That's Sam Manolst going through there, who I think is a lap down looking at the timing screens. There's the leader as well, Manivelt going through. So Sam Manolst's going to get lapped here. You see everyone come through turn 4. There's a great shot of all the cars coming down the hill in towards the hairpin. And there's Duncan Murray, the last car that was coming into it. You'll just see him now chasing down Andy Fox. There he is, the South African driver. Down towards turn 6 then, and you see all the Jettas. Greg Otley coming under pressure, I think, from John Bailiff there as they head down towards turn 7. This is a great shot of the sunset and the Jettas coming down this straight. Otley and Bailiff swapping places down towards turn 8. Gjesdal is attacking Eric Manivelt down that back straight. Got the slipstream, he did. He's only 2 tenths behind him now. He's right on the backside of Eric Manivelt. And there they are then. Manivelt still leads the way as they go down towards turn 1. Down through turn 1, I should say. Sam Van Olst is probably pulling away from these guys, to be fair. I know he's a lap down. And look at that. That's Cranston going down the inside of Otley down towards turn 2. Is he going to get that move done as they come down towards through 3 then? And he does. Cranston down the inside of Otley up into P6 then. And now Bailiff next on his list. But Dupart is trying to get Otley as well. Round the outside of turn 3 as we have a look at the entry to turn 4. Let's have a look at the drone cam. Otley under pressure from Patrick Dupart here. Oh, they touch actually. Dupart and Otley make contact and they're going to go into the wall, are they? Greg Otley's still spinning, he can't save it. Patrick Dupart is off as well and they slide round. Otley's luck shows once again. That was just such a slight touch down that hill. I don't know how unsettled the car gets, but look at Dupart going down the order. The 2 Lurchers cars who were they involved in that earlier crash? I don't think they were. They were involved in a crash in the last race. I don't know if is Lequay going to get through. Corpus made it through. I don't think Lequay is going to get through. That was Greg Otley strikes again. He got P9 in the last race. That might have been his best result of the season. I'll go through some of the stats at the end. We're on lap 5 of 16, so the pit lane is about to open, but Marcus Gjesdal for Viking Raiders is all over the back of Eric Manivelt. He's holding on to the Send It and Bend It driver who has driven the car before. He's competed in many seasons with us. I think he's done the Clio, he did the touring cars. He's a great driver, is Eric. So Marcus Gjesdal on his Volkswagen Jetta Cup debut to be keeping up with Mr. Manivelt. Give him a round of applause. It's taken 7 rounds to get to this pace, and I'm sure he doesn't feel comfortable. He keeps saying in chat that he was scared, but this is why, if we think back, those of you that have been with us from the start, think back to season 1, season 2, and season 3. It was very much a community to improve some of the different drivers. We had some people that had pace, we had some people that were in the middle, and the racecraft ended up just getting tighter and tighter until it got to a breaking point of just people running people too tight. But the pace, any new drivers that came along, the aim was to get their pace up to a similar standard, to a similar level. And I think, I don't know if he's noticed this, but yeah, he's got Burkhardt chasing him down, but Burkhardt's one of the quickest guys in the car, full stop. Marcus Gestel can leave the season happy, I think. 7 rounds in and to be on the pace. I mean, Loic Thon's holding his own as well right now as well, to be honest. They've had a good start. It shows just how your starting position can affect it. Ruslan Kamadulin's had an up and down season as well as a debut. All 3 of those drivers just mentioned, all new drivers this season. As we see Eric Mannenveld come into the pits. I think I saw all Win It and Bin It cars come into the pits as well. MTK on YouTube chat says, feel bad for Greg. That sounded like Ruslan lifts off massively for turn 1. I'm sure it was nearly flat, but it is what it is. Martin Wallace right behind. They're in P6 and 7. Greg Otley down in 23rd now after pitting. Let's have a look at who has pit. Everyone behind Cranston. So P16 and below have pit. We're on lap 7 of 16. Eric Mannenfeld is not in the pits. He was just blinking in and out. He is still currently leading. Gestel right behind. Nearly. This is your top 3. And Morgan Burkhardt is getting impatient. He's going to try and come through then on the Viking Raiders car. Who's going to get the slipstream from Eric Mannenfeld though? Jesus Samundere will be trying to find his way through. Kieran Dempsey has just passed Henry Morse. Going into the hairpin. Addy Fox next up on that list then. Gestel can't quite close down. Looks like Gestel kept the position. So he's fending off reigning champion Morgan Burkhardt at the moment. Loic Thon, a little bit of a gap behind now to Loic as we see Gestel and Burkhardt decide, do you know what then? We're going to go into the pits. Oh, was that a good call or was this a bad call? I am not sure. But Gestel, Burkhardt, Thon, and one of the Goldwing cars, that's Duncan Murray, the South African, into the pits then. Keep an eye on the track map on the right-hand side. JC, the orange circle, JC, that's Jake Cranston. He should come through. I think he's going to pass all of them. We've got John Bailiff in tow as well. Gestel and Burkhardt in the pit exit. Through comes Cranston. There's Gestel and Burkhardt on the right-hand side. Are they going to come out ahead of Cranston, or is Cranston going to pass them both? They do come out ahead. Gestel then, after the pit stops. Oh, Cranston down the inside. Scares him a little bit wide. Cranston does take the lead. I thought Gestel was in the lead of a race for that split second, but it's not the case. Burkhardt slots in between them then. So he's currently in net P2. Gestel drops down into P3. He really could have kept that. I think he could have kept that. Just got a little bit spooked by the orange machine with the moustache on front. I know the moustache is scary, but it's not that scary. Bouncing over the curves. What are the pit stop times? Pit stop times. Time stopped in pits. Pit time stopped? Fine. You want to see your pit stop times? I'll show you your pit stop times. This is your stoppage times, which we know by now after some experimentation. People are saying are random. It's nothing to do with how you park your car. It's just how your pit crew is feeling on the day. Cranston with a 9.1. Gestel an 8.7. Bailiff an 8.9. 7.6 for Murray. Looks considerably lower than everyone else's. And as we know, when it's considerably lower than everyone else's, they're going to run out of fuel, potentially. So does Duncan Murray run out of fuel at the end of this race? Only time will tell. We're on lap 9 of 16. I wonder. Who else do we have here? 9 seconds for Dempsey. 8.7 looks like a good solid stop. There's a few people doing an 8.7, and Eric Mannenfeld has pit, and he comes back out in the lead of this race. He's got Cranston and Burkhardt behind, so your leader of this race with an 8.7 stop is Eric Mannenfeld. He's got Cranston and Burkhardt behind, who haven't been fighting because they know how important it is to keep those lap times up, the average lap times up. Who's leading at the moment, says Dan Thornton in chat. It is Dan Thornton for ORD, who's decided the 8-lap sprint race, which is normally limited for fuel reasons, is not enough. So he's going to do 9 laps on one tank one tank of fuel. We've also got Corpus and Geschwind out there, and Weisbanger and Caraday doing 9 laps on their tank. But Caraday has the lead pack, the pitted lead pack, behind. Dan Thornton then leading, Corpus and Geschwind in P2 and 3. Weisbanger currently P4, Caraday P5. But he's got a load of cars behind him. You would assume that those 5 drivers are going to come into the pit stops this lap. Surely it's not an ORD car, says Andy Fox. It is an ORD car. He's saying that as if we haven't seen ORD cars in the lead before. Tell him, Andre. Tell him, Patrick. Has Patrick won? I know we've seen Andre win some races before. Has Patrick ever won a race? Get the stat page up, theracingline.org. Look at the Win It and Bid It car down the inside of Marcus Gestel into the final turn. Gestel's going to hold his position, though. It gets tight through the final turn. He holds off John Bailiff. 2-time SimLab champion John Bailiff being held off by the Norwegian Marcus Gestel in the Viking Raiders machine there, as we see a few drivers then come into the pits. And look who's doing it again. It's the Street Casuals driver. Andy Geschwind says, I see you, Dan Thornton, number 74. I see you extending the sprint limit by 1 lap. I'm going to do 2. Andy Geschwind doing it every race pretty much. I don't know how he does it. He's got some sort of super fuel. He must be running like special diesel. Red diesel, chip fat diesel. I don't know what he's putting in that car, but it's lasting longer than everyone else's tank, that's for sure. Andy Fox with a 10.3 second stop. He's lost out 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds to most people just on stoppage time. Loic Thon 11.8 loses another second to that. Andre Majorek 2 minutes 21 seconds. 2 minutes 21 seconds. Benols, 2 minutes 22 seconds. Why? What does that mean? Cranston then around the outside of Mannenfeld. Not sure what's happening with Majorek and Benols pit stop. Majorek down in 26th. Maybe he can fill us in chat. But Mannenfeld goes to the inside. Oh, Cranston goes around the outside. We've seen this move done before. There's a little bit of a touch there. Oh, Cranston was very lucky not to spin. Look at Burkhardt holding Mannenfeld tight. The number 1 car around the outside of the 99 into the final turn, and the 99 gets bullied out wide by the number 1 machine. Slots down into P3. Andy Geschwind still leads the way. Is he going round again? Andy Geschwind's going round again on lap 11. The sprint race was limited to 8 laps, meaning that the fuel should technically run out on lap 9. 10 is at a push if you've been fuel saving. Lap 11's insane. Tow time, says Bob Wallace. They had to tow from their earlier crashes, so they couldn't bring it back to the pits. That would make sense. Let's have a look at total pit stop time then. That's the one that people, I think, care a little bit more about, because it shows who really attacked the entrance and the exit of the pit stop. And Eric Mannenfeld with a 32.5 may just be the quickest pit stopper. It is the Send It and Bend It machine. 32.5. He nailed the pit entry. He nailed the pit exit. 34.7 for both Cranston and Burkhardt, who probably practiced together, let's be honest. And that shows they both did exactly the same time. 34.9 for Gestel and Bailiff and Morse. So it's fairly even. People pit stop, the gaps used to be huge. This season, the pit stop times have got closer and closer, and I think it's due to this new overlay feature that shows exactly the times, as we see Bailiff pass Jesus and Mundere there down the back straight before they even made it to the corner. It's starting to get dark. Andy Geschwind does pit then on lap 11. Only driver out of this race. We've got 28 drivers. Only driver out of this race is Sebastian Holmichael from early on at 8 laps ago. As we see Geschwind in the pits. How many people are going to pass him? A load of people. Gets into the pit exit. Eric used Stroop Waffles as brakes. 10% increase in stopping power. Jake Cranston leads the way once again. It's lap 12 of 16, so we've got 4 laps left. Cranston has not had a double win this season. Is he about to get a double win this season at Canadian Tire at the final round to really solidify his position as 3-time Volkswagen Jetta Cup TRL powered by GT Omega Racing champion? Can he do it? Burkhardt and Mannenfeld, though, holding on nicely. Marcus Gestel, give this man a round of applause. The Viking Raiders car has not been in this position for this long all season. P4. I know it sounds obvious about qualifying. We've always said, qualify better. Not to Marcus, just in general. Normally to me, because I'm terrible at qualifying. But it really can make and break a round qualifying in the top 5 compared to the top 15, which is what makes it so tight. When you're 3/10 off a pole position down in 16th place on some of these races. It's really tough going. But it is what it is. That's all part of the sport. That's why we love it, I guess. Henry Morse up in P7 then, after starting near the back after his results. So he's had a hell of a race, has Morse. I'm sure he started near last because of his earlier. He finished 26, so that'll be where he started. He's up in P7 now after the pit stop phase. Wallace, Fox, and Thin are in it. Are on it. Well, there they are. What was I saying? Yeah, Henry Morse near the back. Ruslan's trying to fight him here. The American driver, one of those that tends to enjoy being smarter. Oh, Gesdal gets passed by Bailiff, and Amundere's going to try and come through on the hairpin as well. Can he get it done? He's going to go down the inside. Bounces over the curb. Gesdal should get a better exit because of that. Yes, holds on to P5. Holds off Jesus Amundere for Lurch just came in. Look, Jesus Amundere is up in P6. Again, he's in the top 10. Canadian tyre for the Portuguese flagged driver. Basque, if you look at the timing screens, but Portuguese on the car. He's having a cracking round. We don't see Jesus Amundere get results like this unless it's Oran Park, because we see Mannenfeld go around the outside, then the inside of Burkhardt. Bit of contact. Is he going to get shoved out wide again? And we've seen this before. Oh, Mannenfeld, he can't get it done. Burkhardt just positions his car perfectly as we go on to lap 13, 14 even of 16. Only 2 laps to go after this lap. So 3 laps in total. Few laps were better, says Andy Fox, who's trying to chase down Loic Thon right now.
Wouldn't it be a crime if we worked together and maybe got the leaders?
That's what I was saying earlier. The American driver, Henry Morse, normally not one to enjoy fighting and would much rather try and get to the front and work together, even though there's only 2 laps left, and realistically they're 3 seconds back. It's unlikely. Have some fun. Have a fight. Actually fight for your position in P7. They often complain when this man gets let through and no one fights him hard enough. But realistically, everyone's here to race each other. I would much rather everyone fight for every position than work together for the lead fight, but I guess sometimes it's just how it works. I say that, and I know for a fact if I'm in the position and people start fighting me instead of trying to get to the front, it's frustrating. It happens. It's annoying, but it is what it is. Gesdal, though, trying to hold on to this P5 with Jesus Munro behind him. I don't know if Henry Morse is going to catch him, but Ruslan is not responding to Henry Morse's radio message, and he is trying to fight for P7. He's going to look round the outside of the final corners of the sweepers. He's going to give it a go here. I'm not sure it's going to be done, but he's going to have the inside for the next corner, is he? Oh, he is going to get it done. Down the inside then. Henry Morse trying to hold it around the outside. Down towards the final turn. Still there. Ruslan turns in as if the car was going to disappear. Goes onto the grass. Slides round the final corner. And Martin Wallace pulls out to try and pass them all as well. Kieran Dempsey goes through. Wallace goes through. Cameron Dullan loses a couple of places. And Andy Fox now trying to gain another position here. Duncan Murray says thanks to the stream, as if it's finished. We've got a couple laps to go here, to be honest. So a bit confusing of the random message. Another one that says Greg, not sure what Greg's talking. Oh, he's in the pit lane. Greg has crashed, I think. Shall we have a look at that? Let's have a replay. Oh, perfect timing. There it was. That is Ika Lequay involved. And secondary contact. Down the inside of turn 1. A very slow slide from both drivers. Weird one. Henry only wants to cruise and take in the fact that he managed to buy a podium DB2 wheelbase before this race. Whoa! Who's that? Is that Caraday coming flying down the hill? I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to do it again because I want to see Caraday's. I want to see what it looks like from Caraday's onboard. So Caraday's in 24th place. Comes over this blind hill. Probably no yellow flag. Sees 2 cars off on the grass then. Equal Oh, straight through the middle. Oh dear. Very close. Very, very close. Anyway, back to it then. Cranston still leads the way from Burkhardt, Manintveld, Bailiff, Gjesdal, Amundere, Morse, Kamadullen. Kamadullen then back up into... Or did I just rewind? Oh no, this is... We've already seen this. Sorry. I rewound to the replay, didn't I? So this was where Kamadullen goes around the outside. If I can get the chopper cam, I'll show you what it looks like above. You'll see Ruslan just turn in on the final turn, expecting Henry's car to disappear, and this is what pushes him out wide. Ready? Henry's car's just about still there. There's actually a big net code between the UAE and the American driver there, and Kieran Dempsey gets a bit of a run, decides to push Henry instead of take the move down the inside of turn 1. Martin Wallace comes through, so these two swap over. And now we're back to where we were. Duncan Murray all on his lonesome down in 28th place. We said we was going to watch if he ran out of fuel, but he's just out there driving around. Sam Van Olst, the Goldwing pair, 27th, 28th. Not a good day for the Goldwing team. Agard down here from his earlier incident. They were involved in the big crash at the start. Stephen King was involved in that, as was Andre Marek. Where are they? Stephen King is currently in P15. Andre Marek P25. So King probably the highest... Is King the highest one that was involved in that crash? I think he might be. He's chasing down Patrick Depart right now. Ika Lequay and Caraday are still fighting it out. I think Caraday might have just gone off, actually, because Ika Lequay was way behind. So that's them. Greg Otley coming back out the pits to finish the race. We're on lap 15 of 16. Your top 3. Eric Manintveld looks to be securing himself on for a podium. Amundere and Gjesdal fighting it out through the final section. Amundere down the inside of the second to last corner, but Gjesdal on the inside of the final turn. Is he going to hold off the number 19 again? I think he does. Good effort from the Viking Raiders car. And this is Andy Fox, who's closing in on the cars in front as well. He's going to look around the outside of Ruslan Kamadullen it down towards turn 1. That's a risky move that we haven't seen pulled off as Ruslan mounts the curb. Is that going to give Fox the inside for turn 2? I think he's going to put his... That's a wily old Fox as he goes down the inside of turn 2. Ruslan has to take a little bit of a wider line. Can Andy carry the speed? Leans on him a little bit. Doesn't push him off. Gives him the room. Andy Fox trying to come through then. Is he going to get it done round the outside of the next corner? I think he can do. He just needs to get a smooth entry into this. Ruslan mounts the curve to give room. Fox goes wide and onto the grass. That's going to ruin his run, or is it? Because he's still there on the outside. Loic Thon
I believe in you.
comes through. Henry Morse on the radio saying, go on, Jesus, we believe in you, because he's up there trying to get P5 from Marcus Gjesdal. Bit of a touch into the final chicane. We're on the last lap here. I don't think Cranston's under any pressure. He's weaving down the back straight to try and break the toe as we see them snaking their way down, and this is an almighty result for some of these drivers. Joe Gibson and Teemu Toika fighting it out. Down the hill they go. Toika down the inside of the hairpin, pushes Gibson out wide. Then 3 wide into the hairpin. Agard down the inside, mounts the curb. Toika gains the position. 3 into 1 never goes. Gibson loses out there. Toika gains the position. Weiswanger goes through on someone as well. He passes Agard after that. Burkhardt down the inside of the final turn. This is the last lap. This is for position. Round the outside of the final corner. Jay Cranston under pressure. On the grass goes Burkhardt. What can Manintveld do? Jay Cranston weaves across the line and takes his first double win of the season. Manintveld nearly grabs P2 from Burkhardt. Bailiff brings it home in P4. That's 4th in both races, I think, for John Bailiff there. Solid effort from him. Marcus Gjesdal, give that man a round of applause. Viking Raiders, a top 5 finish. Jesus Amundere, 2 top 10 finishes in 1 race. Henry Morse brings it home in P7 after starting near enough last. Kieran Dempsey in P8 for him. Martin Wallace and Ruslan Karadulin make it a ZFG double top 10. Loic Thon, who started the race on pole position for PRG, ends the race in P11. Andy Fox P12. Dan Thornton improves his last result and goes up into P13. Stephen King does get Patrick Dupart in the end and finishes in P14. I'm not sure where that pass happened. I'm not sure if it shows up on my little replay thing. I think it does. There it is. Doesn't look like it was that tough, to be honest. Oh, is he going to get it done before the braking zone? I think he's not, actually. They are going to fight side by side. Into the final corners they go. Patrick Dupart, Stephen King, headlights on. Oh, it was tight through that final turn. And somehow King got the run on the final corner. It was very close between those two. Very, very close. There you go. Quando318 says, thanks for the great season on YouTube. Bob Wallace says, Otley is my top 10, so it's a ZFG triple top 10. Let's go on that results. We'll play some music. Let's have a little bit of a slow motion replay. Should we go scenic? TV mix doesn't exist around here, which is a shame. Right, let's have a look at the results then of these races. These are what it looks like across the season. Oh, that is not what it looks like across the season. Let's change that right now. You can have a look at your race winners. There you go then. Andy Fox made up 15 spots in 2 races. If only I could qualify. Only took 4 seasons to finally lead a complete lap, says Dan Thornton, who does lead a full lap this race after saving fuel, pit stopping late. He's done the Geschwind strategy and it worked. So from round one onwards then, Cranston and Farr took the honours of your first race winners. Cranston and Burkhardt at round 2. And then it was King and Ridley round 3. Morse takes his first double, the first double of the season at Watkins Glen International. We thought that was going to be the Morse comeback. Then it was Cranston and Bailiff, Morse and King at Willow Springs. And then Cranston, for the first time this season, takes the double at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. But Morgan Burkhardt did not make it easy for him and was right on his rear the whole time. Jake Cranston, first double win of the season, emulating Morse at Watkins, the only other driver to do so. Burkhardt took his best round of the season. He got 2 second places today. Eric makes it 16 different drivers on the podium then this season by claiming his one and only. That's his first podium. So Eric Mannenveld, the Dutch driver for Send It and Bend It, takes his first podium of the season with a P3 right at the end. 16 drivers out of 36 sat on the podium in 14 races, 7 rounds, 7 different tracks, 14 races, 2 at each track. 16 drivers up in the top. Took a top 3 position. Gjesdal smashes his best result today. His previous best result was a P10, to be fair. He got a P10 somewhere. Where did Marcus Gjesdal get 10th? Watkins Glen, the oval round, where it always throws up a bit of a mix of results. And now he's got a solid P5 for Viking Raiders there. Jesus has his best round of the season. Perhaps his best round ever with 2 top 10s. P6, his best result this season for sure. I think he's been on the podium in a previous season, but this is his best result this season, I think, by far. Morse, last to 7th, as I mentioned, gets his first and only fastest lap point of the season. There's a shocker for you. The only time Henry Morse has got a fastest lap was today. Normally, he's leading the way, giving the toe to someone else. Today, he took the fastest lap. This doesn't include his pole position. He did get a pole position at some point this season. Not sure which round it was, actually. My memory is drained. But there were 4 drivers that got pole position. Burkhardt took 3 poles. Cranston took 2. King and Morse took 1 each. 16 drivers on the podium, as mentioned. Cranston, 10 podiums. Morse, 5 podiums. Bailiff, Burkhardt and King all took 4 podiums each. Farr took 3 podiums when he showed up. Could have extended that if he was able to race in the final couple of rounds. Ridley and Depart took 2 podiums each. Then it was Toyka, Germany, Burns, Dempsey, Mayerek, Agard, Van Alsten, Mannenveld all took a podium this season at one point. Ignore that radio. The fastest laps, Cranston took 4, Bailiff took 2, Mannenveld, Agard, Farr, King, Burkhardt, Agard and Morse took 1 each. And Ruslan Kavadulin also got a fastest lap this round. His first fastest lap ever in a TRL series, as it is his debut. Cranston obviously got the highest score this round with 120. That matches the highest point scoring total this season of 120 by Henry Morse at Watkins as well, with 2 double wins. But they didn't get the pole position, and they didn't get the fastest laps on those rounds that they both won. What else can we say here? Like I said, Ruslan joined the fastest lap. Loic Thon gets his best result of the season with a P11. His previous best result was P16. Let's have a quick look at where Loic Thon's previous best was. Oh, Canadian Tire. So this is his best round all throughout the whole thing. He got 17th place at Road Atlanta Race 1. And then at Canadian Tire, he got 16th and 11th. So that's his best result of the season. Dan Thornton's best round of the season as well, with a solid P13, beating his season best 15th from Watkins Glen. Agard has his worst result of the season, finishing 21st. Otley finally gets a top 10 after showing the pace to do so every round. We mentioned that. He secures a P9 in that first race. Andre gets collected, and his consistent run of points is ruined with a P25. That's his lowest. His previous lowest was 16th, but that was way back in round 1. Andre Mayerek's lowest finish was 16th, all the way back in round 1. Every other result, I'm pretty sure, was top 10 upwards. I think maybe an 11th, but the rest was top 10 upwards. And then a 25th today on Canadian Tire. I guess it's time to have a look at the old standings then. The moment you've all been waiting for. The final standings. '24th in race 1 to 13th in race 2, and the top ORD driver for about the only time in history. Dan Thornton. I mean, you can say it in chat and everyone can see it, but I've mentioned Dan before. He said, I'm sure he said, a top 20 to him feels great. Maybe less so in this round, as there was only 29 drivers, so maybe he would have been aiming for 18th or upwards and would have been happy with that. A P13 is a great result. He will be very, very happy with that, especially since he had to pass people for it, actually had to race for it, had the pace for it, and there wasn't really a big crash. Well, there was a big crash, I guess, but there wasn't loads of people involved in it like we have seen previously. What was I saying? Andy says season 5 when? Untold yet. Untold. I'm sure there will be a season 5, but don't know when, as we see Cranston cross the line again in slow motion. Oh yeah, standings. That's what you want to see. With drop rounds. I was going to show both versions. I have both versions. Now, obviously the round that never was, which was Canadian Tire previously, added the drop round finish. I don't like drop rounds personally, but it did make it fairer for everybody. And now let's have a look at your championship. So let's go with Teams Championship first. This is your before. So before your final round, this is what it looks like. And here's your final points then. With drop rounds included, this is how it looks. This is your final teams standings. Win it or bin it are your teams champions for the first time ever in Volkswagen Jetta Cup history. Winner of it, claim it. Finally, they deserve it. John Bailiff has carried the team. He's been hiring drivers left, right and centre, and they've absolutely pulled through. All of them finished 12th and above in this race. Andy Fox P12, Dempsey P8, Bailiff P4. Dempsey having a poor moment earlier in the season, nearly didn't come back, did come back, and now they reap the rewards with a team championship win. Street Casuals take P2 just about after their drop round. They hold on to P2 with ORD finishing P3, their highest ever finish as a team. ORD have never finished that high in the team standings, and now they have. They've got into the 4 digits. They've got over 1,000 points. Masters of Talk nearly caught them there in P4 with 1,051, but ORD hold on to it, beating not reigning champions, but season 2 champions, Masters of Talk. This is the bit I don't want to say, but I feel like I have to say. If there were no drop rounds involved, ORD would have finished P2 in the standings. And I give them a round of applause because, well, give Street Casuals a round of applause and ORD. They both had a cracking fight, really, for the season. Street Casuals would argue that it's fair after losing their best result of the season anyway with the void round. And then ORD, they were in third before this round. They held on to third. They'd done a cracking job. But if there was no drop rounds, they could have got that P2. Remember how I introduced ORD as a midfield team, says Andre. I do remember that, and now look at them. And it's all thanks to all three of you. You had a cracking season. Andre regularly up there showing that pace. And the cleanest driver, I think, like 3 or 4 seasons running in a row, but joined by Stephen King and Kieran Dempsey this season with no penalty points on his license throughout all of the rounds and showed up to all of the rounds. John says we finally winned rather than binned. Andy says most of the time. Anyway, big IQ move from me to move to the winning team for the last few rounds, says Andy Fox. Good call. Send it or bend it. Send it and bend it. Finish P5. Then they hold on 10 points ahead of Pulsar Esports in P6. Without the drop rounds, it was the same order. But 1 point was in it between them. Send it or bend it beat Pulsars by 1 point with no drop rounds. 10 points with one. Parallel Racing Group past Goldwing Motorsport up into P7. Morgan Burkhardt's team jumps up a position into the top 7. Then Goldwing drop down. Zero Forks Given Racing do pass Lurchus Gaming, even though they were having a solid round with Yeezus, LeQuay and Corpus had a bit of a mare in this final round, which would have definitely helped them, but 20 points in the end cost them. Down to P10 they go. Viking Raiders, despite that solid result, finish in P11 and Meatball Motorsport in P12. Your drivers' standings look like this then. Donny Henriksen, this was before, so let's have a look at the after and see what this bottom half of the grid looks like. Are there any shufflings? There are some shufflings, and this is what it looks like then after your drop rounds and after your points have been tallied. Donny Henriksen stays where he is. Rutt and Holmichael stay where they are. Mats drops down. Duncan Murray jumps up into P32. Gibson and Weiswanger jump up a position each as well to 29th and 30th. Caraday drops down 2 places, with Loic Thon jumping up past his teammate into P27 after a solid result from him. His best result of the season, and he passes his teammate by 5 points. Dan Thornton, despite his best result of the season, drops down to P26th by 1 position. Greg Otley drops down 2 places, and Ike LeQuay drops down 5 places in the standings, down to P24. That seems mostly due to Ruslan Kamadulin jumping up 4 places into P23. Corpus and Downing drop as well. Corpus down to 22nd. Downing loses 5 places down to 21st, with Timo Toiko jumping back up to P20. And Yeezus Amundere up 5 places with his best result there into P19. Remember, Yeezus missed a round earlier this season, which is why it looks like he jumped up, because that was obviously his drop round, and then he gets his points, whereas everyone else who turned up every race loses points. Those that missed a round actually technically gain points on those drivers this race. Let's have a look at your top 18 then. Andy Geschwin drops 4 places down to 18th. Marcus Giesdal up into P17 after his strongest race by 1 point. Passes Andy Geschwin by 1 point Is he top rookie, Marcus Gestel? Let's find out. I can't remember if there's any rookies above that, but Marcus in P17. Andy Fox, P16, jumps up 2 places. Martin Wallace enters the top half as well. P15 for him, up 2 places in the final standings. Ridley down to 14th. Eric Mannenveld there, up 2 places into P13. Sam Van Olst drops 2 down to P12. Marcus Gestel still top rookie right now. I feel like that he is top rookie of the season, so give him a round of applause. Jerry Agard stays where he is in P11. No change for him. Stephen Burns drops down 2 places into 10th place. Morgan Burkhardt jumps up into the top 10, up 4 positions into P9 for the final results of the standings. Patrick Depart down 2 places into P8. Austin Farr drops 3 places after not showing into P7. He would have been up there. He actually swaps places with Henry Morse, who gains 3 positions. Just by 2 points, he beats Austin. P6 and 7 for the Street Casuals American pair. Your top 5 then. Kieran Dempsey up 2 places into P5. Well done to the Irish driver. Andre Marek up. He's down 1 place, but he's in P4. I think that is his best result ever in an overall standing. So the ORD driver into the top 4 and solidifying himself as one of the best Jetta drivers of all time there to get a top 4 in the final standings. Stephen King then drops down into P3, which means John Bailiff jumps 3 positions after drop rounds into P2 in the standings and becomes the runner-up to Jake Cranston, your Season 4 champion, 3-time Jetta Cup champion for the Racing Line Volkswagen Jetta Cup powered by GT Omega. Jake Cranston, 3-time champion. John Bailiff, 2-time SimLab champion, runner-up this season, beats Stephen King by 6 points. That crash absolutely hindered King this round, but that does not matter. 2 4th places for John. Up into P2 he goes. A round of applause for every driver that took part this season. Thank you. Quando318's Andy Geschwind says it was close. It was close indeed. 1 point in it, fighting out for top rookie. Let's just confirm that. Yes, your top 16 have all driven the Volkswagen Jetta in this season before. So Marcus Gestel and Andy Geschwind, Volkswagen Jetta Cup rookies, debutantes, separated by 1 point and finishing in the top half of the season. 36 drivers we started with. So the top 18 upwards is your top half. Well done, Marcus, the Norwegian, and Andy Geschwind, the Swiss. Glad you could make it. And hopefully we see most of you, if not all of you, back for Season 5, whenever that may be. Could be a bit of time yet, but an absolutely solid season in the end. So well done to all of you. Grats John, says Bob. Sickening how far ahead Jake was. It is sickening. He did take part in all the rounds though. In fact, if I show you, I don't know if I'll be able to get it on the screen. His consistency. I'll just drag this across. There you go. It doesn't make it any bigger. Here you can see like the final results. Any of the yellow crossed out ones are your drop rounds. Jake Cranston's drop round was Willow Springs with a 2nd and a 15th place. So all the rounds that counted for him, podium, 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 podium. 4th, 7th and 5th, his worst results. Watkins, 7th place was his lowest result. John, 2nd, 8th, 8th, 4th, 17th. Missed a round. 3rd, 1st, 3rd. Look at John come back with a vengeance in the second half of the season, but got another 17th there, so just shows. Stephen King, 6th, 33rd. 1st, 8th, 5th, 5th, 2nd, 14th, 16th, 1st, 3rd, 14th. So an up and down season for King as well. Probably his most inconsistent season to date, but still up there in P3. Andre, as I said earlier, very consistent. 5th, 16th, 4th, 7th, 11th, 10th, 10th, 3rd, 10th, 7th, 6th, 4th. It was actually that last round that ended up not counting for Andre. So even though it was all fun, Henry Morse had a couple of nightmares. He definitely should have been up there in P7, but people picking up these pieces. And there we have it. It is what it is. Congrats to you all. And that is it. The sun has set. It is way later than I expected. It is 12:43. Sorry that I took King's usual P2, says John. Don't be sorry. It looks like everyone's lining up here for some sort of goodbye picture. Not sure what the best look of this. Oh, look at Bilbo, or whatever his name is, waving the checkered flag. What's the best camera for this? That's a pretty good one, I guess. I think I saw this actually. Does everyone just absolutely murder each other? Let's have a look, shall we? Let's watch the final goodbye for now. Season 4, Racing Line, Volkswagen Jetta Cup. The sun has set. They're all revving their diesel engines. The races are over. 14 races done. And this is how they're saying goodbye. We normally do a Mount Panorama jump or something stupid, and here is what's about to happen then. Henry Moore starts doing donuts at the front. We start seeing bouncing Jettas. Andy Fox with a solid hit on Cranston there.
Someone help me, please.
I really wish these had the new damage model. Imagine the amount of wheels that would be flying everywhere. Is that Sam or Duncan that's on his roof in the distance? It's just upside down. Let's click on Sam's car and go on board, shall we? Oh! He's been hit by someone. We need to do a destruction derby on these. A short oval. A short oval with walls. And damage on. Last man standing. 100 laps. Blow your engine, you're out. No fast repairs. That'll be our next fun race. Cranston, make it happen. 3-time champion. Right, I guess it's time to sign out. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you all for coming again. Genuinely, really good racing. And hopefully I'll see you all on track at some point. We can have a nice little fight in whatever car we're driving at the time. As usual, that is pretty much it from me. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for week 13 here for the next video on the Racing Line. Peace.